you've become one of those one-name people. You mention the name, you don't need to go through the resume. Everybody just knows. There's been the coolest little tipping point, I think, in the last 5 years or so, where it just became, all the skepticism just fell away, and it just became self-evident, and everybody just recognizes you for the global thought leader that you've always been. So that's got to feel good.
It does, and you know, so part of how that happened, you know, talking to your team here that's watching, is really deciding that I wanted to shift my brand, because you know, all I care about is helping people, and I've been doing it for 40 years, my 40th year doing it, and so there's something to do. I always tell people, most people underestimate what they can do in several decades. They overestimate what they do in a year, right?
Sure.
And so over those decades, there's part of that. But 5 years ago, I said to myself, there's so many people still think I'm positive thinking, and I've never been. I'm a strategist. So I thought, how do I get that across? And the first thing I did is I said, I was really angry about what I saw in the financial institutions and the way people are treated in that area. It's disastrous in our country. So much cheating, so much lying, and it's almost legal. I mean, you know, it's so hard to pin these guys down. So I decided I want to write this book, Money Master the Game, and I said I wanted to make it unassailable. So a lot of people think I'm just some positive thinking guy. Let me save their life financially. Let me interview 50 of the smartest people financially in the whole world. Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, all these guys. And I got access to people no one had. But then I also said, then I'll put my psychology in it. And, you know, I got, you know, people like, you know, Steve Forbes writing articles saying if there was a Pulitzer Prize for an investment book, this would win hands down. I mean, the level of response was amazing. And so that entered a different world, because when you talk about personal development, it's very much like network marketing. A lot of people, oh, self-help and all that. And I hate those terms. or motivation. I've never been those things. But what happens is people have their connotations. So what I did was I decided to shift and say, let me be the financial strategist. Because when you read that, and people also, what am I going to a seminar for? You know, that's the problem you run with network marketing. What does that mean? I don't want to be part of that. But when you talk about money, everybody's interested. They think that book, I need that book. Normally when I meet somebody, I go, oh, you probably don't need the seminar, but you're going to enjoy it. And when they go, it's the greatest experience of my life, right? I didn't have to do anything. It was just changing the direction in which I delivered it. And I wanted to show people how to protect themselves and also how to take advantage. And when I come to speak, I'm going to put a little piece in there for people, because everybody should have a way out of what they do in network marketing or for any part of their life where they can be certain they can be financially free no matter what the market happens. And I call it unshakable, because unshakability is that feeling that it doesn't matter if the stock market drops, real estate drops, you can make more money when things are dropping than when they're growing, because it happens faster. And so I wrote this book, and I made it much smaller. My first book was 674 pages.
I know, I read it.
It was like you would lift weights with it.
Yes,
this one you could read in a few hours over a weekend easily, and it gives you the actual tools.
It covers a lot of the guts of it, you know, where you're going to go with it.
Yeah, and it makes it simple for people.
So you mentioned network marketing several times in your answer there. I know you know a lot about it.
Sure.
And a lot of people in network marketing, I think, have a little bit of an inferiority complex because of the mistakes other people have made in the past, a little bit of the branding stuff. My opinion is, if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, for the average person, this is better as a way to flex your entrepreneurial muscle than the other forms of entrepreneurship available to the average person.
It's absolutely true. You're in network marketing, you get to do what you do best, right? You can do something that's so simple. You can find a product or service that you love, that you know has total integrity, an organization that's great. You can align with that, and you don't have to worry about supply chain. You don't have to worry about accounting. And you don't have to worry about all the elements that really make a business go. People, when they start a business, there's a reason why the first year 50% of them are gone. You know, in 5 years, 80% are gone. In 10 years, 96% of all businesses fail. 4% make it. And make it doesn't mean they're profitable. It just means they're still standing. And after 10 years, it's all over. You've made it, right? No. I mean, you look around and you see Lehman Brothers, you know, been around a century and did $1 trillion in business over that century, and they're gone like that. So it's so complex, and people don't know that when they start businesses. This is why so many fail, because they go, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm the greatest salesman. I'm making this company go. And they don't understand there's all these other moving parts. Or I'm the greatest software engineer. I can write code better than anybody. And they may be true, but the business is more complex than that. So network marketing allows anyone who just has a love for a product or service and has people they want to share that with, even if they don't know them, to allow them to expand. The other thing it really does, because everything else is being done for you, you're able to concentrate your power on what matters most. And if you look at any business, I tell everybody, Peter Drucker used to say, business is two things. It's innovation and it's marketing. Well, that's really the job of the person that we're marketing. You're marketing, you're selling, you're connecting, you're sharing, you're making that impact. And the innovation side, you want to innovate and develop yourself. You want to get better and better as your skill as a leader, as your skill to influence, your skill to coach people, manage people. Well, network marketing, you have this incredible partner in the institution you're part of, and you're able to focus on your primary skill.
I think a tipping point has happened.
Yes,
we talked about before inside the network marketing profession, that it's becoming more of a profession. There's higher level people getting involved. It's not just all broke people with no place else to go that are getting involved. Why do you think that's happened recently?
Well, there's disruption. I mean, you've seen what's happened over the last 5 years in terms of the economy, and more is coming primarily because of technology. You know, I'm an investor in a lot of firms. I have 33 companies now, to give you an idea. About a third of them are all in the technology business. And what I can tell you right now is there was this research project just came out the other day that showed that since 1960, 59% of those jobs that were around 1960 don't even exist anymore, right? Telephone operators, all these different things, right? When's the last time you called your secretary and said, take a note? You just don't do that. You tell Siri, she prints it out instantaneously for you, you know? So what's happened now, according to Oxford, is they're saying the next 10 years, 49%, that fast. It'll be much faster. 60 years to 2017, 1960, 2017, 50 years, a little more than 50 years, that experience you could deal with. This is going to happen in 5 or 10 years, half the jobs are going. And they're going from AIs, artificial intelligence that can do things. It's not just blue-collar workers, and it's the robots and the blue-collar workers as well. So I'll give an example. Right now, if you're an Uber driver, right, or you're a taxi driver, you're a truck driver, we all know what's coming. It's not hard to figure out. Elon Musk right now is working in Pasadena, where I live in Palm Beach in Florida. If it passes, my wife's Tesla will drive itself next year. It's just a simple download and we'll do it right now, not 5, 10 years in the future, because he's gathering all that information, because all those cars are bringing in more data that are making these things operate more rapidly. Well, who in, let's say, 5 years, worst case 10 years, but most people say less than 5, who's going to hire a truck driver who can only work 8 hours a day legally because he's got to sleep and everything else, whose insurance is expensive, who might be a pain in the ass, when I can have a 24-hour-a-day truck that'll drive and I get to depreciate it? I mean, it's not going to happen. So there's 5 million people in that category. There's 4 million people in the farming industry. The technology that we currently have will wipe out immediately. If you just took 2 of those industries, it's 9 million people. 7 million people lost their jobs during the Great Recession when we looked like the world was ending. That's 2 industries. So they're all going to have to find a place to be able to function, and it's really going to start their own businesses, because there aren't that many other jobs that are out there. There's high-tech jobs, there's certain technology, but there's always a need, because everything on earth that you see, this room, that painting, this carpet, this building, everything you see, these cameras were all sold. The entire economy is driven by somebody who can sell. And selling is really just sharing when it's a network marketing experience, because you're trying to give someone an experience of something that can change their life. And so when I look at that, I say, you'd be crazy not to do it. And also, you're going to see more and more high-level people come as the disruption comes. I think the next 5 years will be a huge boon for many industries, but the network marketing stream will certainly be one of them.
You train on so many different topics. You've mastered so many different areas, from finance to strategy to business to personal growth to different kinds of things. I listened to one of your courses in audio called Mastering Influence.
Oh, yes.
It's so good. And I mean, you kind of freshened it up. It was done a while ago.
Yes.
But if I think of one skill that needs to be, that is highly rewarded and needs to be strengthened inside the network marketing profession, it's this idea of influence. Why is influence such a big deal?
It's the #1 skill of a leader. Like, what makes somebody a leader? It's your ability to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the actions of another human being. And if you can do that with integrity, and integrity in my definition means that you act like a fiduciary, like in the financial business, how it should be. You are putting their needs ahead of your own. Motive does matter. People sense that. And if you're raw and real and you can cut through to that, you can influence people. Owning it, becoming authentic with it is so critical. And I always tell people, to influence someone, you have to know what already influences them. If you try to influence your kid, as a simplistic example, to clean their room, you usually try to do it the way it worked for you as a kid, right? Whatever worked for you. But it may not work for your child, because they're different. We're all different. And so when you know what already influences someone, influencing them is easy. So I just tell people, the person you got to start with, though, is you. If you can't influence yourself, then you're going to be fat, because you can't influence your own hands, feeding your mouth. If you can't influence your kid more than the guy on the street corner, they're going to be doing drugs. If you can't influence someone, you're not going to create that passionate connection and aliveness in business or in your intimate life. What really matters is the ownership of the state you're in, like the connection to that person. Like when I go to speak to an audience, it doesn't matter if it's 20,000 people or it's one person. I always load my brain with, what do I respect about it? What do I love about them? And my questions that I'm asking to influence somebody are always this: I want to know, what do they desire most and what do they fear most? because life is the dance between what you desire most and fear most. That's where people live. And if you want to help somebody expand their life, you show them how to have less fear, and you learn how to increase their desire or their drive, and their life changes completely. And what network marketing provides the opportunity to do is, when you meet somebody, you don't need to recruit everybody. Probably the biggest mistake in the industry is people are constantly pushing it, and people are coming from a place of scarcity, like, oh, I got to get this person. Oh, every woman knows this. A guy that's like, oh my God, I got to get this woman, he's gross. They don't want to be around. A guy who owns himself and would love to connect with you, but if you don't, that's okay too. Like, I know what I'm here for. Women are attracted to a man like that. It's not just women. We're all attracted to somebody who owns themselves. So I think influence is leadership, and I think influence is a skill, but the skill starts with influencing yourself, and the skill starts with learning how to shift your psychological, emotional state when you're being rejected, when people are saying things you don't want to hear, when people make claims that you know are BS, and they tell you, oh, you're a pyramid scheme, all the stuff that people say, that most network organizations are the furthest thing from. They're incredible organizations, made multi-billion-dollar corporations that are made up of individual businessmen and women who got into this business and are out there living their life to serve others. And when people feel that that's authentic, it's pretty easy to influence.
Yeah, and I think leader, the term leader is almost cliche.
Well, and also there aren't very many good ones anymore.
You know what I mean? Of one person who has one person on their team, they think they're the leader of that. Yeah. But being an influencer,
yes, I agree.
That is a very valuable thing.
But it is the skill of leadership. If you get great at influencing, you'll become a great leader.